ultimate, Faker's been doing work, just forcing Sky to TP back into lane. And so really just a whole hell of a lot of global map control and pressure from SK Telecom right now. Bubbly taking this time to at least try and push into the enemy jungle. He's going to run into Faker, though.
Yeah, able to do some damage. Faker has to be careful. Whoa, never mind. Bubbling has to be careful. That was a lot of burst damage coming out of that Corki.
Yeah.
Got that Sheen proc. Man.
That Sheen's going to be doing some work early on.
No
so.
kidding. All that Charlie Sheen, because it's winning. Bengi forcing the flash out of Sky.
Well played, sir. I didn't expect that one.
I like to surprise. It's good after 10 seasons, I can still surprise you, Monte Cristo. I'm happy to hear that. Well, Faker still just fine. Gotta watch out for those Sheens. League of Legends item wires or otherwise. Hand over that blue buff, of course.
Yeah, so just a pretty, so far, lane dominant performance. Antara has lost that pretty large CS lead that he developed early on. So the boots of swiftness now coming through. Adam, you will see with more regularity this season.
Yeah. It is nice. I accidentally bought Sork shoes on Trundle when I was playing on stream the other day. That was embarrassing. I was just like, guys, I just want my ult to do more damage. That's all, you know?
Need a chomp harder.
Yeah, totally. Take a bite out of crime. I only play Constable Trundle, by the way.
Wow, it's too bad that no one's ever made that reference before.
I'm sure I'm the first. Doesn't matter, it still feels good. Oh, flash, bang, thrown back under turret, tries to get away with that lantern. Box drop down by Wolf, bang on the outside, pulls his support out, and are they gonna get more out of this? Sky so low, kept alive though by Kindred's ult.
It's a great turnaround right there. I mean, they stopped that gank under turret 3v4 after Mad Life punting SKT back under that turret, but Bengi
nice
with great patience on the Unburrow to take out Sky. And, you know, this global pressure that CJ wanted to put on really hasn't worked so far. They haven't been able to create any picks. Faker has thoroughly dominated this mid lane just in terms of pressure. And we see Sky right now take a few hits onto his turret, going for that Rod of Ages. Pretty standard now. Rod into Abyssal Scepter is what you're going to see on a lot of these mages.
Yep.
Themes not particularly great these days. Faker here is doing more work, slowly chipping away that turret, and this is what Faker does, just whittles away the mid lane and then takes over the game.
Yeah. You know, we've talked over and over again about Twisted Fate ultimates, right? You really need to get something going out of the first or second. First one didn't work out at all for Sky. You know, so if they can shut this TF down, especially if they can kill that first turret, it's going to go a long way in securing this game for SK Telecom. They're already just taking control of the map.
Yeah, they are, especially that bottom side jungle, considering that's where they're strong on the map right now. And Tom Kench does have some wave clear issues, so it's less reliable to invade that side of the jungle. Meanwhile, you see Bang right here just working his way up.
So one thing that I thought was interesting as we see Corki pick up his payload is Dragon doesn't seem to be as much of a priority now as it was in Season 5.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, first Dragon buff is still a really big priority just because you do get the % damage increase. But,
here we
Sky.
go. Yeah, Sky could be in a little bit of trouble. Caught out, no flash. Are they going to kill him under turret? Looks like they're going to be close. Faker with the final rocket. And the final hit he needs to pick up that kill.
You have to be so careful when Corki comes back to lane, because if there's a jungler there like that, he can just ambush you from beyond your screen of vision, basically. So you have to play very cautiously whenever Corki comes back on the map with that payload, and that's the reason why right there they made it look quite easy. I mean, SK Telecom making this game look quite easy.
Not bad. It looks like we can see vision from each team at the same time, actually. That's interesting. That's new.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, good stuff. So,
cool.
Excellent little change. You've got tons of little observer tweaks, as we saw, coming through this season.
So, another objective that we should probably talk about, being that it's the first game of the new season and all that, is the Rift Herald. Not a huge priority that we've seen in various games on the preseason patch so far, but do you think that'll maybe change at some point?
It needs to be buffed, or I suppose depending on how you look at it, nerfed, because right now it just does so much damage that it basically forces a recall whenever you take it, and you lose a lot of time and map pressure that way. So I don't think we're going to see much emphasis on the Rift Herald. And to go back to the Dragon issue too, a lot of games just simply aren't lasting long enough these days to justify a lot of emphasis on dragon control, just because you're not going to get 5 stacks. The game will likely end before that occurs. So first dragon is very important, no matter when you get it, just to get that single stack up. And then it's mostly basically a turret pressure game at this point in time. And that's kind of the change that we're going to see, at least at the start of this season. And we'll see how perhaps Rift Herald changes or dragon buffs change. I think perhaps changing the second stack to something a little bit more potent might do some work when it comes to making continued dragon control more of a viable tactic.
It's certainly a lot more bloodthirsty meta right now. It's very nice. Kramer still behind in CS. Has that Caulfield's hammer and the BF sword, but not a lot otherwise.
Yeah, it's going for a little bit of the CDR on Ashe.
Probably a good idea if you're running a pick comp.
Probably a good idea if you're running a pick comp, absolutely.
CDR on the Ashe arrow is pretty nice. But he needs a bit more than that. I mean, right now SKT's been putting on all the pressure. So when does CJ really find that opportunity to get those picks? You know, we're almost 15 minutes into the game and there's no kills for CJ.
Yeah, none at all. Faker with a second blue buff too, and that's just going to help him push up this wave even further and try and actually deal the damage. Meanwhile, another recall from Sky, who has been using that TP exclusively to get back into lane, has his ultimate up if he wants to use it, but basically he hasn't been able to have really any effect on the map so far. And it looks like we may see the first dragon coming through here.
Could be. SKT might be setting up for it. Yeah, it looks like they're starting it now.
Bit of a risk considering their bot lane isn't there, but they will be back in time for any fight should Mad Life and Kramer start to make a move. And they do have a lot of vision on the backside of that objective too, so they know that CJ isn't moving north through the tri-brush.
Well, with things like the lower amount of vision in general right now in the preseason, and also things like the vision debris to kind of let you know where wards may have just been, it's easier to kind of sneak things like that, it seems like.
Yeah. The continued harass of the mid lane and the taking of the jungle. Great vision control so far from SKT. Vision, of course, changed dramatically, so you do have to be more deliberate and precise with vision these days because you simply will not have as many wards or as much of an idea of what's going on the map. So it has made it very interesting and more methodical in the way that teams approach objectives and approach pressure.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing.
Well, to a certain extent, too, it's kind of a jungler's paradise right now as well because you just don't have as much vision to use in the early game to keep track of where people are. So ganking gets a little bit more often and a little bit more successful, and all of that contributes to quicker games.
Yeah, absolutely. Bubbling still going to be running the tracker's knife here, so does have a few more wards. Bengi opting for a sightstone this game to make up for it. And that's going to be a major factor. Pretty much all the new machete upgrades are being used.
Oh, here we go. Action down in bot lane. Wolf could be in trouble. Teleport coming in from Fly in the mid lane. Bang getting very low. Looks like CJ may get their first kill. They will. Finally taking out Bang.
Really nice target switching there. So you saw they engaged the fight onto Thresh, but then they immediately moved onto Bang because he was going to just use his ultimate onto Wolf and pull him back in. Yeah. So they need to get rid of the Kalista right away. They CC him long enough in order to make sure that they get the kill. And now we're going to see some tower trading.
Yeah, I mean, Faker was able to take out the tower in mid lane, but CJ might be able to respond right away with the bot tower. Maybe not at the moment, though. Wow, SKT keeping that alive.
That's a great trade for SKT, actually, to force just a kill for that.
Wow. I was not expecting them to be able to save that, and we may have a bit of a dive. As Faker comes in, Nutara on the run already.
Corki does so much damage these days.
He really does. Has that Trinity Force, has those Sork shoes, and that's going to be another turret for SK Telecom, most likely.
So 2 turrets right there for 1 kill. SKT absolutely just playing again the wave advantage they had on the map, and Faker with that fast Trinity Force is a tower menace.
This is one of the things, too, that led to that championship win at World Season 5, is that you may be able to gank somebody somewhere on the map. You might be able to get that kill, but everyone else on the team is going to take every advantage that gives them.
Yeah, and Bubbling really has been essentially a non-factor this game.
Yeah.
To get the 1 assist, but he just hasn't been in the right place at the right time. Bengi has been reading him like a book, and now package going to be here, and that is a long way. Bengi already set up.
Oh boy, Sky just going way too far up in lane without the vision to keep him safe, and Faker and Bengi pick up a pretty easy one. It did not look difficult at all. Wolf pulled in to keep him away from the gank down in bot lane. Bubbling tried to make a play there, but like you said, Bubbling just not really able to make anything happen this game. Definitely a silence of the lambs situation.
It is definitely a silence.
It's not doing a whole lot.
It puts the potion on its skin.
Yeah, or it gets the ward again. Oh, Faker could be in a little bit of trouble here. Madlife with the pulverize for the knockup. Bengi coming down to save his teammates. They're going to pull Madlife into the box. Who caught who now? Ash is still trying to do damage from the outside. Untara comes down with the TP to try to make a difference. Low health members everywhere, but so far no deaths until right about now. Untara goes down. Duke with a kill there. Bubbling jumps in to try to help. Lamb's Respite keeping people alive for the moment, but it doesn't stop Faker from picking up another one. Now Kramer on the run. He needs a door to go through really fast or something, but he has nothing. Another kill for SKT, and that is going to be a near ace. It is an ace as they catch Sky. SKT, what can you say? I mean, just as dominating as ever.
That was very well executed.
Wow.
Just coming through. Duke, actually, we talked about his teleport usage, but he shows up at the right time and tangles up their backline, so they can't really engage on that fight. Meanwhile, just great kiting from Faker, using both of his summoners to get out of a Maokai route. Let's take a look at this. Faker playing very aggressively onto Madlife right there. And then just taking the Lantern out. Maokai's going to come in, and we will see Faker here. So it's a nice TP actually from Untara, but it'll just be root straight into Cleanse Flash instantly. And take a look at Duke right here, just coming back onto Madlife, and there's not really much that they could do. Untara, the first target.
Wow.
And we do see the Kindred ult coming down, but it's not going to do a whole lot. As the heal pops in at the end, Faker just saves his burst damage to deal with Kindred as soon as the ult is up. So very impressive by SKT, and they take a 7,000 gold lead here at 20 minutes.
Yeah, you have to imagine that it's not going to take too much longer for SK Telecom to finish this one off.
Yeah, Baron's up right now. They have Corki and Kalista to take Baron.
Oh boy, Madlife trying to escape here, but Faker's still there doing a lot of damage. There's a flash, but it's not going to save the Battle Cow. It's taken out. And SKT, I believe they stole away the blue buff too. I don't think anyone got that.
It's going to be a Baron.
Yeah.
Madlife didn't actually use his ultimate right there for some reason.
Huh.
I'm a bit surprised by that, because if he dies, then the Baron is definitely going to be incoming with the Kalista securing the damage that they have.
Right. Well, CJ wants to try to stop it. Sky coming in. There's the arrow onto Bengi. Not the person they wanted to land that on. Bubbling on the run right away. Untara comes in to try to break up the backline. Sky with another gold card over onto Bengi. But SKT just taking apart this fight so easily. Backing off that Baron, not having any trouble at all, shifting focus to winning this team fight.
Yeah, CJ actually only lost one member for stopping that Baron, and they're going to get a tower off of it. So that was actually a pretty successful fight for CJ as far as staying in this game goes. Might have bought them just a little bit of time, and now Faker's not going to have that same pressure in the mid lane that he had before. So if they can transition this into a dragon immediately, they may be looking at some strong plays. But here we go. That is going to be sensed out by the crab there.
Yeah, well, it looks like Tom Kench coming in right away. Duke just coming in by himself. Dragon very low. SKT gets basically a free dragon. Oops.
Well, what can you do, really? I think they had to go for it, see if they could get it, and try and take some form of advantage. So I don't think you can really blame CJ for that one. You see Duke right now just building a ridiculous amount of defensive stats, and unfortunately for CJ, they don't really have a lot of damage. I mean, Sky is still going to be stacking up that Rod of Ages, not fully there yet, and meanwhile this Ashe not going to be doing a lot with only a completed Essence Reaver right now, so there's really no way for them to kill Tom Kench. It's not looking good for CJ, quite obviously.
Not really. I have to say, so far in this first game, Duke seems to be fitting in pretty well on SKT.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He really is coordinating well with his teammates. Looks a bit more comfortable, at least in this game, than he did on Najin. Only his first game of the season, though.
That's very true. We have not the biggest sample size in less than one game.
I think 20 minutes is enough to make our judgments about Duke on SKT, though.
It's enough for most people on Reddit, probably. So why not us too, you know? SKT invading the enemy jungle. Sky, wow, nearly going down right there. But it's enough. That SKT should be able to take this turret. Bengi very aggressive with that Rek'Sai.
Yeah, so just a pretty, so far, lane dominant performance. Santara has lost that pretty large CS lead that he developed early on. So the boots of swiftness now coming through. Adam, you will see with more regularity this season.
Yeah. It is nice. I accidentally bought Sork shoes on Trundle when I was playing on stream the other day. That was embarrassing. I was just like, guys, I just want my ult to do more damage. That's all, you know?
Need to chomp harder.
Yeah, totally. Take it by the Bengi forcing the flash out of Sky.
Well played, sir. I didn't expect that one.
I like to surprise. It's good after 10 seasons, I can still surprise you, Monte Cristo. I'm happy to hear that. Well, Faker still just fine. Gotta watch out for those sheens. League of Legends item-wise or otherwise. Hand over that blue buff, of course.
Ultimate, Faker's been doing work, just forcing Sky to TP back into lane. And so really just a whole hell of a lot of global map control and pressure from SK Telecom right now. Bubbly taking this time to at least try and push into the enemy jungle. He's going to run into Faker, though.
Yeah, able to do some damage. Faker has to be careful. Whoa, never mind. Bubbling has to be careful. That was a lot of burst damage coming out of that Corki.
Yeah.
Got that Sheen proc. Man.
That Sheen's going to be doing some work early on.
No
so.
kidding. All that Charlie Sheen, because it's win out of crime. I only play Constable Trundle, by the way.
Wow, it's too bad that no one's ever made that reference before.
I'm sure I'm the first. Doesn't matter, it still feels good. Oh, flash, bang, thrown back under turret, tries to get away with that lantern. Box drop down by Wolf, bang on the outside, pulls his support out. And are they going to get more out of this? Sky so low, kept alive though by Kindred's ult.
It's a great turnaround right there. I mean, they stopped that gank under turret 3v4 after Mad Life punting SKT back under that turret, but Bengi
nice
with great patience on the Unburrow to take out Sky. And, you know, this global pressure that CJ wanted to put on really hasn't worked so far. They haven't been able to create any picks. Faker has thoroughly dominated this mid lane just in terms of pressure. And we see Sky right now take a few hits onto his turret, going for that Rod of Ages. Pretty standard now, Rod into Abyssal Scepter is what you're going to see on a lot of these mages.
Yep.